Are you Richard?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So guys, we should be live. Let me just double check that and make sure. And if we are, we're going to get straight into this video. Alright, so we are live. I'm just getting myself a drink. Alright, so why are we doing this? You're probably wondering. Okay, so the reason why we're doing this, guys, is because obviously it's important to hear the man's words himself. So what we're going to do is go through, we are going to watch this video and basically, see what happens and how it went and what the interview was actually like. It's not really an interview, I'm expecting this to be more of an interrogation. But, so before we get into it, what's my thoughts? They're probably going to be pretty friendly to him, but they're also going to try and be trying not to prove anything, because the last thing they want is this election to blow up in their face. So I imagine they're try and make a lot of excuses for stuff, but we'll just have to see what happens. And obviously I am playing games in the background, but I will mute that for you in a sec. So we just hear the video. And let's jump into it.
Hi Richard, my name is Russ Strasser. You want to come in for a second? I don't want people to be looking at whatnot.
Obviously I've got chat up on the screen. We can check it all out. So we can hear it.
It's been incredibly rough. I want to tell you a few things. I want to tell you who I am, why I'm asking to speak with you, and sort of lay it out for you.
Right.
Okay. And I realize we didn't expect you to be here, so
I'm not willing to give up until they fire me.
good for you.
Good for him.
Good for you.
Good for you, bro.
I literally was under the wrong information, and so
That's
what
not
I'm
a good start, is it?
apologizing for I'm not quite ready for you yet because I thought that we'd have to wait for you to come in. So I apologize if this looks a little haphazard. It's just I didn't realize you would be here. So
Here we go.
I'm actually thrilled that you're here. I'm going to say the first thing, with respect to you, with this whole COVID thing, if you'd rather me have a mask,
I don't care.
I don't either. And so, okay.
Alright.
But I want you to know that you can drive that bus. If you say, Russ, put a mask on, I have one that I can put on.
Here we
Okay?
go. I mean, if you don't mind, I'd rather not wear these things.
I'm okay with that too. When we leave here, I've got the mask on, so
They don't get mad at me.
they don't get mad at me. Exactly. Okay. So let me tell you who I am and why. You obviously know why.
Yes.
The last week has been crazy, right?
It's been an insane.
Bit of a nervous laughter there, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't. The only reason I came out forward, I'm an introverted person. Don't like to be noticed.
I'm there with you. I understand.
But as soon as I started realizing they knew it was me, and they came with an allegation, a PDI from like months ago, like June, August, and they were like, "Yeah, we need to get that statement." I was like, "Dude, I gave you that statement."
So
That's not
here's
good.
where we're at right now. Okay. I'm going to make a promise to you. I'm going to be 100% upfront with you.
Anybody says they're going to be 100%
Okay.
upfront, it's not
You ask me
100%
a question,
upfront
I
normally.
promise to answer you. I promise to answer you
But
honest.
we'll see.
All right.
Whether it's good for me, bad for me, good for you, bad for you, I will be honest with you. That's my first promise to you, okay? And so
Devious.
let me make good on that promise right away, okay? this storm is getting crazy, right? And
I
it's
understand.
out of a lot of people's control. And so the reason they called me in is to try to harness that storm, try to reel it back in before it gets really crazy.
That should not be your
Because we have
concern,
senators
to be honest,
involved,
man.
We have the Department of Justice involved. We have
Trump's lawyers team's gotten a hold of me.
all sorts of things are involved in it, okay? And so here I am being honest with you.
He should be more
believe
interested in going through
Okay.
and actually finding out
but I
the
also
truth.
feel like we
not
need to make
reeling
sure
in the
it is
storm that got us.
1,000% correct and 1,000% shaved down to only the exact truth. Do you understand what I mean by that?
I understand.
I don't consider an exaggeration a lie, okay? But when it's out of our hands, it can turn that way very quickly. And so what I want to do, and the best way that I can protect you, is to leave today with the absolute truth, the barest truth that nobody can chip away at. Does that make sense? And does that seem fair?
Yes.
That's where I'm at with that, okay? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to chat, okay? Because I've heard everything from him, from the other one, from the news, I've heard things from everybody. I haven't heard anything from you, okay? You and I are going to sit down and we're going to chat. You have full authority to tell me anything you want to tell me, from get lost to whatever else. I'm literally going to be here in your corner, okay? But we have to start from the same page, if I can say it that way, okay? One option I have for you that is going to just be put aside for now. The one option I have, so that we have more in your corner, is a polygraph, okay? I'm putting that aside right now. I want you to understand that. If you and I decide to go down that road,
I don't know if a polygraph would actually be advisable.
talk about it.
It'd be good for him to do, but it's not admissible in court.
Okay. I am a polygraph examiner.
And I sure as shit would not be getting him to do the polygraph.
You're just wondering when I was
This
in
is the guy that's already.
Texas.
Yeah,
It wasn't because I was in trouble.
this is a guy who's already admitted that he's trying to minimize the impact of this revelation, right? He's already said he's trying to reel the storm in. No way in hell I would be getting him to lead the polygraph. No way. Someone completely independent. And I sure as shit would make sure the polygrapher has no strong Trump or Biden ties or views. If they're posted on Facebook about Trump derangement syndrome, no way I would be getting them to do the polygraph. And like I said, polygraph's not admissible in court, so is it worthwhile doing? It's for peace of mind. But no way I'd be getting this guy to do the polygraph. Not after him saying I'm trying to minimize the damage, which he already has said.
Listen, the way I am a polygraph examiner, and the way I view the
String operations did happen in key states, and criminal charges have been served. Sting operations did happen. Oh, hey Derek, how are you, buddy? Yeah, it's going to be an interesting few days. Maybe a few weeks. Look, obviously, I want to know about that ballot, about the IR code on the ballots. I want to know if that's legit, because if that is case, that could be Trump's endgame. It really, really could be. But we'll see. Arizona needs a recount and voter ballots scrutinized. Apparently Georgia has, I think it was Georgia, just announced that they are doing a full recount. So yeah, I tweeted this out earlier, but just to let you guys know, in case anyone's not following me on Twitter, where is it? Tweets and retweets, maybe. I can't find it there. Let me double check Discord. I think I posted it in the Discord. Breaking. Not only is Georgia doing a full recount by hand, they're also doing a audit and full canvass of all ballots. So that's kind of big. So that's Georgia. So yeah, see what happens.
It's more used. It's more used to get people out of trouble than into trouble.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean by that? And so my question when you said that wasn't, what did you do? My question was, did it help you? And you just said, we'll talk about it if we have to. We don't have to bring up past unless you want to, okay?
Yeah, it was just the part of the interview thing that joined the police department.
Okay. So this, I'm gonna do a couple things with you. I'm gonna bring you into this next room. It's a mess right now because I haven't done setting up. But if you will give me the respect to allow me to set up in front of you instead of just sending you off to get you again, then I will give you the respect to give you as much time as you need to discuss whatever you want to, and we'll get, like I said, my goal today is to get the absolute narrowest truth that nobody can chip away at.
Okay.
Because you more than I know how this is just going and going and going, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back to this room.
Sounds like they are concerned.
If you need to use a restroom, we have one.
Yeah. Yeah, Georgia's got a full hand recount and they're going to inspect the ballots. So the IR code could come into that if it exists.
You spoke to the agent before, right?
Yes, sir.
You remember my name, Chris?
I'm not good with names.
Yeah, I thought it was Chris.
I'm Chris. All right.
Do you mind if I call you Richard? Is there something?
Alex.
Alex.
Everybody calls. I mean, everybody knows my first name, but I actually go by my middle name, which is whatever. Okay.
Oh, that came out of
Is it-
nowhere for me.
Yeah.
I wish I would have called you that on Friday.
Well, I mean, everybody's gonna know me by my first name, and it's kind of funny because my grandfather's also Richard Hopkins, and he goes by Skip. So he was a cop here in Erie.
I have a cousin that goes by Bubba, so nothing surprises me. Is it alright if I call you Alex?
That's fine. Go ahead.
I will call you.
This whole chit chat that they're doing. Hey Georgia girl, how are you? Lovely. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. They have to inspect ballots. Yes, they do. So what they're doing with this whole chit chat is basically just building rapport that they're trying to do. Always be dubious if anyone's trying to build this much rapport. Look, at the end of the day, let's face it, this guy works for USPS. He is going to want to try and minimize the statements that this guy has made as much as they can. So, yeah. We'll see how it goes. But, yeah, see how it goes. He did not win Georgia. I don't know if Georgia's actually officially been called. As far as I know, Georgia hasn't actually been called yet. It's still a battleground state and still has not been totally... Yeah, it's still undecided. According to what I'm seeing right now. They have counted 99%, but Biden is at 49.5, Trump is at 49.2. Yeah, like at the votes is 2.471 million for Biden, and Trump is 2.457 million. There is literally like 20,000 or less than. There's like 15,000 difference between them. But as far as I know, yeah. Oh right. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. I thought you meant Trump. Yeah. Biden didn't win Georgia. Apparently, according to them, he did. So we'll see what happens through the recount. But yeah, I don't know how he won Georgia. I don't know how Biden won anything. He spent most of the day in the basement. Let's face it. But yeah, you know your state. Okay. Yeah, I presume you would know it. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But good luck with the recount, and hopefully it goes off. And yeah, hopefully it goes off well. Let's keep on with this. It goes for 2 hours, so.
But if Alex works for you, I will call you Alex. Alex, when you spoke with Agent Klein last week, Friday, did you fill out any forms?
No, I don't think we did.
Okay. So I have a few forms that we have to fill out.
Right.
Okay. And I made a promise to you to be upfront with me, right? So
He keeps
way I get
reiterating
out-
that. That makes me concerned.
Before I ask you to fill out any form, you and I will go through the entire form together. So there's not one word that I'm like glossing over or anything. You're gonna know exactly what's on the form. The main form I have to fill out, basically if you're watching TV, it's your rights.
Yeah.
Right? And what your rights mean on TV is, oh, you're being arrested. That's not what rights are.
I understand that.
What your rights are.
Yeah, they're doing a hand count. Yeah, and they're also doing an audit as well, Georgia.
And if you're an American citizen, you have inherent rights.
So that's
And
good
one
news.
of those rights that the courts have decided is if somebody presents themselves as a person of authority and they want to speak to an American citizen, that American citizen needs to know that he doesn't have to say anything if he doesn't want to say anything. That American citizen has to know that if he wants to get up and walk, he's allowed to get up and walk. And that's what the rights are. Okay?
Understood.
So I have to fill out that paperwork because A, it lets you know what your rights are, but B, it sort of protects my behind to say, yeah, I actually.
It's more protecting his behind than letting
This
your
time.
rights know what
Okay.
you are.
So before we fill anything out,
Mhm.
if you have any questions on what you're filling out or what I say, you ask that. I'm not going to ask you to sign anything until you know what you're signing and you're comfortable with what you're signing. Is that
I
fair?
understand.
Okay. Do you have Garrity with you by
Yeah.
chance? We call the rights Garrity. There are a couple of levels of rights, and Garrity is the lowest level. It's essentially saying you're here voluntarily. I have a mask for you if you want one, but you said you didn't care, so
I've got one in my pocket if you need one.
I
You
don't
to.
need one. All I want you to know is if you ever feel more comfortable with one.
So
I
are
have-
you with the postals with them, or are you FBI, or what are you?
I am not FBI.
I know the FBI is supposedly involved in this one.
I heard that as well.
Yeah, I just recently heard
So-
that.
So here's what we've got with that, okay? I want to sit with you, but I don't want to hover over you. Thank you. All of that comes down to a term called jurisdiction,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And jurisdiction is a slippery slope that nobody can define, okay?
I understand.
All jurisdiction does is it identifies the entity that basically is head of whatever situation it is, okay?
Okay.
And right now you are postal, which means the Postal Service Office of Inspector General has jurisdiction.
Gotcha.
You're also talking about federal mail fraud. So I would argue that the FBI actually outranks the Inspector General for USPS. That would be my guess, but yeah. Yes, I did, because censoring. Yeah, they will basically kill any video that So and they might have just killed it anyway. No, okay, we're still up. Okay, yeah, I just had a sudden drop. Apparently, everybody dropped out for a sec. All right, yeah, they deliberately will censor anything that has Project Veritas. So I misspelled it to try and throw that off a bit. So yeah, I always do.
FBI does not.
That's why I also don't use the Project Veritas tag in my videos either.
As the wind blows, so does jurisdiction, and that could change. But right now, nobody can do
Yeah,
anything.
you're talking about federal
as
mail
long as we're
fraud, dude. I would say
Because
that as
we have
actually
jurisdiction, and in that opening,
tampering with
that's-
mail. I would say
paycheck
even
comes
for like in a
from
federal
the
election, I would say that's
States
federal
offices.
more than it is.
Gotcha.
That's where my
USPS.
paycheck comes from. I do not work with these guys. I do not even live here. I drove in yesterday from New York City.
Okay.
Okay?
That's
So,
not good.
If
New
that
York
lets you
City?
know, I am not part of this investigation. I am literally here to see what I can do, as I laid out before, so that we have a very finite.
Biden arguably didn't win Virginia either, but Trump won't contest it. The Postmaster General shouldn't do this investigation. Investigate yourself stinks of cover-up. Exactly. Yeah, I would totally agree with that. How are you, Libertarian? You good, buddy? Why do you think Trump won't contest Virginia? That's an interesting statement. Why do you think that?
Situation that anyone who wants to throw stones
Not enough
at
electoral
can
college,
make
maybe?
part. Okay, is that cool with you?
I understand.
Okay, let me do this, and then I don't have to worry about talking to you about anything because my butt's covered. Fair?
Good to go.
Okay, thank you. You're being very.
Like I said,
More nervous
I went
after.
to go to the police department. I also, when I did go to college, I went to college for criminal justice. So some of the stuff I already kind of understand.
If I'm saying something you already know, one of two things is going to happen. You can say Russ shut up, and Russ will shut up, or I'm going to say it anyway, just so I know that we're on the same page. Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm going to have you fill out this first part. I'm just going to have you write your name. I'm going to have you put Richard, but you can put Alex after it since I'm going to call you out. Is okay?
Okay.
Oh, you're a lefty.
Yeah.
So, head libertarian, Trump doesn't need Virginia if he wins the other states. That's true. But it also might be good to win with an extra buffer as well. So, Virginia... See, Virginia wasn't really close. Virginia, apparently, Biden got 2.4 million votes and Trump got 1.9 million. So maybe that's why they're not challenging it? But yeah, we'll see.
And then Alex, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my name underneath it because I'm the one who's doing this form with you, okay?
All right.
Deep breaths. In this room, we're okay. All right? Okay. So the way I do these forms, some people just hand them to you and say, you need to initial these. I don't like doing that. I like going through the form with you so you know what I'm asking you to sign.
Roger.
Like I said, all this is telling you that you're an American citizen so that you know what your rights are. Okay?
Good.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you these 4 rights. Okay? As I read them, like this one, first one says, I have the right to remain silent if I can't read upside down, if my answers may tend to incriminate me, right? Okay? All that means, literally, a lot of legalese, we hear it on TV all the time. All that means is, if you don't want to answer one of my questions, or if you don't want to say anything, you have the right not to say anything. That's all it means. If you want to be quiet, you can be quiet. So what I'm going to say is if you understand what that line means, I'm going to ask for your initials. And all your initial means is that you understand.
Just realised I spelled interrogation wrong too.
Basically, explains
Change that. All right.
the situation.
Essentially, I mean, that's the TV way to look at it, but the fifth only comes into play if you're in court.
Yeah, true.
All right, so anything I say or do may be used against me in a court of law and in other proceedings, including administrative proceedings. Do you understand what that means?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I say something incriminating, it can be used against me. I can get in trouble.
I want to
If
know
refuse
whether
to
they
answer
knew he was
questions,
taped.
that's my answer.
Hey, Eric, how are you, bud?
I will
How's
not
things,
be
man?
disciplined
I've been
solely
well,
on
I've been well.
assignment. Fair?
Understandable.
How are you, man? You good over there? You good in the US? I think you're US. I believe you are.
This interview is strictly voluntary, and I may leave or stop answering questions at any time. Got it? Understand?
Yep.
Okay, now I'm going to have you do your part, and that is, I would like you to read. No, don't sign it until you read this to me. Read it out loud.
I have read the acknowledgement of rights or had it read to me, and I understand it as set forth above. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no coercion of any kind has been used against me.
Alex, I'm going to ask you a question, and you are an intelligent person. I am not insulting your intelligence, I promise. You wouldn't believe the amount of people I sit down with who don't know what the word coercion means. Do you know what it means?
Yes.
What does it mean?
It means that you are kind of like verbally forcing me to do something that I
Right,
don't want to
exactly. It could be a positive or a negative, but it's forcing you to do it. For example, I could say, you're either going to sign that form or I'm going to break your leg.
Yeah.
That's coercion, right?
Yep.
Or I could say, you know what else? If you sign that form, I'll buy you a car. That is also coercion,
And
right?
bribery.
Right? But what you're saying by signing that is nothing like that's happening to me.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, then go ahead and sign. Thank you very much.
0.31.
What we got for time? 9:31. You already have that, and today's what is today? The 9th. Yeah.
Don't know why they're getting him to sign that before they've had to speak.
You're fine.
Your signature.
I don't know. That seemed to me as always a little bit odd. Why would they get you to sign a form to say that you haven't been coerced when they still haven't done the interview? I've been working and moving here where I'm at. I'm in the state of Ohio. Yeah, I thought you were in Ohio, but I wasn't going to say that. But yeah. Hopefully everything goes according to plan, Eric. And hopefully you have President Trump for another 4 years. Look, obviously at the end of the day, regardless of whether this election goes to Trump or Biden, obviously the channel's still going to be here as long as YouTube has me. And while I got you guys here, keep in mind, I have just started updating, putting all my videos up onto rumble.com. There will be a video announcement going up today. But yeah, I uploaded the videos from today. So I think they're still being processed. It does seem to take a long time for the analysis to go through. It says analyzing, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I am on Rumble in case YouTube decides to boot me. Especially if they think it's been going on lately. But yeah. But regardless, guys, the channel's not going anywhere. Even if Trump does win, we're still going to keep doing what we do. Yeah. Trump was winning Virginia. He was. Yes, he was. Quite a margin before the late ballots gave it to Biden. North Virginia has heavily progressive area. Voter fraud seems to always emanate from such areas. Yeah, I wouldn't mind him going through and recounting Virginia, actually. But we'll see what happens. But, yeah. But, guys, if I do disappear off YouTube, find me on Rumble. And obviously you have my other social medias as well. They're all on the screen right now. I have to add Rumble to the screen. That was the only thing from today. Hey Lee, how are you? How's Mississippi? So, I was just saying, Lee, that I am now on Rumble as well. My videos are getting climbed up there. In case something happens to me on YouTube, I do have Rumble. But, yeah, see how we go. Especially after all the bannings that are happening lately. It's getting pretty scary out here. Let's keep going.
Dude.
What?
We're only 15 minutes in, Lee, and we haven't really got into any of the crux of the conversation yet, so you haven't missed much.
I have the worst handwriting ever, so...
I would say I want to give you a run for your money, but
Hey, Raymond, how are you, buddy?
What we got, 932?
Yep.
Warm weather here.
0,
Nice,
32.
nice.
I understand you were a Marine.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Sir.
I was Air Force, so I got to fly over.
Trump seems to be
you were a
making
pilot.
progress
I was
with
not
his
a pilot.
contesting the
I
election,
did
but the
aircraft
media is downplaying the hell out of it. They're going to. Media's
I was,
going to be biased.
52 navigational aids technician.
Yeah? How long were you in?
5 years in the Corps, and then I did 4 more in the Army Guard.
Good on you. Good on you, man.
Actually, you know Harvey? The Harvey hurricane? I was down there.
Were you really?
Yeah. Right, that was right before I moved to Erie. We went down there and we were like doing rescue ops and everything, cleaning up.
Yeah, that's no joke, man. That is no joke.
They said it was the largest Texas deployment ever since World War II.
Okay. I have one other question to ask you, and that is because there's so much confusion going on with your state, also the Postal Service state, and Lindsey Graham's state, and all this other stuff. Okay. You said that you had been contacted by the Trump campaign lawyers.
Yes.
Have you been contacted by any other legal entity?
No.
Have you contacted any legal entity?
No. Just through Veritas. Veritas says that in case there's anything that happens, they have lawyers on retention for me.
Okay. But you have not spoken to a lawyer?
Outside of just doing the affidavit, the duviet, yeah.
Explain that to me.
The duvet or whatever it is. When I did my affidavit, they wanted to make sure it was
Let me ask you a question this way.
okay.
And there's a reason I'm asking that, because I'm protecting your rights.
Jurat, that's the word.
Okay. When you did that affidavit with them,
Mhm.
is it safe to say that
No, it's
those
right.
lawyers were
It's not over yet, buddy. Don't give up.
and you were just part of that?
The actual notarization was through, it was actually here in Erie. They just wanted me to get the affidavit done so they can utilize it in case they need to subpoena me into court.
But you yourself, right now, today, this very second, do not have personal representation. Is that correct?
As far as I understand.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
That is
I
a
just need to
mistake.
make sure that, because if you did, I would make whatever efforts possible to have that person here. But if that's
Always have lawyers.
then
Always.
that is a hurdle we don't have to jump. Okay. So
Thing
as
I
long as
learned.
your understanding is the same as mine, that you do not
Thing I learnt from my mum and my dad: lawyers are amazing people when they're on your side.
have personal representation at this moment. You have it you're accessible to some, but you do
Yes.
not have it at this moment. Then I will feel free to continue. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Boy, enough legalese, right?
Yeah.
I actually enjoy learning about legal stuff.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then sit
I'm
back.
a weirdo.
Sit
I like
back,
to learn
brother, because
stuff.
you're about to look. No, I'm kidding.
This is the reason why I went into criminal law. I actually took a lot of psych because I wanted to be like.
A lot of it is psych.
I know. It's
Crazy.
interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, are you comfortable?
For the most part, yeah. I'm still nervous as hell. Like
You're
my
allowed
body's
to be
still
nervous.
shaky.
Listen,
So that's why I'm like, oh.
nerves don't bother me one bit. I think that I would be more concerned if you weren't nervous. Okay? So don't feel like you have to put up any front with me. If you are getting to a point where things are overwhelming, say Russ, things are overwhelming. If you get to a point where you're like, my heart's beating a little bit quickly right now, can I have a minute? You ask that, okay?
Ask for a smoke break then. I'm a smoker. I'm sorry.
I'll give you any break but a smoke.
I know it's bad.
You're
It's
already-
bad for me. I'm
You're
killing myself.
already laughing at my jokes, so we're already on a good start. So here's where we are. We're going to get into the meat of it, okay?
Okay.
Because it's what I tried to explain to you out there. What's going on right now is you made a report to Project Vertis, right?
Mhm.
And then that has sort of grown its own legs, and it is going crazy. And I want to be very clear with you. What you are reporting, I am not condemning. Fair?
Yes.
I'm sure you've got a lot of condemnation, right?
Yeah.
And so, what I want to be clear on is the sum total of what I've read that's been reported, and that's not fair because I've only gotten 100% of my information third party, right?
Mhm.
So that's not totally fair to you. But what I've gone through and what I've sort of did my little research on and whatnot is my interpretation. This is me being upfront with you, not me putting you on the hot spot, but just me being upfront. Is you have valid reason for your emotions. I think you and I are going to find out that we are pretty similar on some things. Okay,
Mhm.
but beyond the core. I don't want to say this because I don't want to insult you, but I'm just going to insult you and then we'll deal with it later, okay?
Alright.
Beyond the core, there may have been a little embellishment. And I just want to make sure that there hasn't been, and I just want to make sure if there is, we get rid of that right now so that anything
Yeah, they
that
are.
goes on
Definitely.
after this, like I said, is you're standing on solid ground. Fair? You understand where I'm coming from?
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is this meeting that happened. And if I say something incorrectly, please correct me, all right? But I understand that everybody was called in for a meeting, and the meeting's topic was what to do on election day. Was it after the 3rd or just the whole time?
What do you mean?
The meeting when the carriers were told to bring the election meal back and
Yeah.
put it, you remember it, I guess.
Yeah,
it was
putting it, making sure that
Yep.
it gets given to the
I'm
supervisor
just turning off the
correctly.
pointer real quick, so we're not bothered. Sorry about that. Go ahead, tell me about that.
So all I know, well, it was like basically safety stand down. So I think Stephanie went from each and every day, basically telling them, hey, make sure you pick up all those ballots. And she was also running around telling us that, every vote counts kind of thing. And it was kind of weird the way that was going. And you can probably talk to other carriers that thought shit was weird. And then I'm sitting there and I was, like I said, I was the last one in the office. I'm one of the last ones in the office casing up my route, and I'm right near where they were sitting near the machines. And it was him and Daryl, and that's when I heard what I heard. And I'm just saying I heard.
So, just talk about this for a sec. Head Libertarian. Media headlines paint the picture They want you to see baseless long shot destroying democracy. Yeah, one must ask, right? At the end of the day, one must ask why the left really does not want this contested election to be verified. We've had 4 years of them going through claiming Russia, Russia, me Russia. Right? Now, Donald Trump, if they've had 4 years of that, you would think that the left would not want to have 4 years of Biden stole the election, Biden stole the election, Biden stole the election. Regardless of who won this election, right? Even if it was Trump, if there was electoral fraud going on, or vote counting, or vote rigging, or whatever it may be the claims are, I would be like, yes, double check. Go do your audits, whatever. Because why? Because I would be like, hey, I want to make sure this election was fair and honest as well. But at the end of the day, the left doesn't seemingly want to verify this independent. We just lost all the viewers again. This is what YouTube's doing. The left doesn't seem to want to go through and to verify these results independently. That to me is a concern. That to me is a problem. And we just literally went from like 17, 18 viewers down to 4. And you wonder why I spelt the title wrong. That's the reason. But Biden is not asking for the POTUS. He will take it. I think at the end of the day that Biden probably doesn't have the strength to take anything. But regardless. But yeah, at the end of the day, you would think that if there's some cloud over the election, that they would go through and want to make sure that it's not, so they don't have to worry about hearing 4 years about how Trump stole the election, or how Biden stole the election, or whatever it may be. 4 years of the media spearing Trump as a legitimate president. Exactly. You would not want that again. We just lost all the viewers again. I keep getting concurrent viewers dropping down to 0, guys. So I'm not sure if you can hear me still, if everybody's just been booted out. Let me know in the chat if you can still hear me for some reason. You're here? Alright, Lee. Yeah, it keeps going up and down. YouTube's been funny with the live stream. Okay, cool. Nice. We'll keep going, guys.
Something about one of them.
It's going to be up on demand later, so if anybody does drop and you can't get back for some reason, feel free to check it out later.
That's not being marked the 4th, and the rest being marked the 3rd. And that's why I said what I was like, that doesn't make any sense, because this was the 5th that I'm hearing this. And they were talking about stuff on the 4th.
Cool. No worries, guys. Okay, yeah, YouTube's funny. It keeps dropping down to 0 concurrent for viewers for some reason. Just keep going. Just ignore it, YouTube.
Techniques that help the mind remember. Okay? The best you can do right now, and listen, dude, I know that you have been thinking this nonstop for like 5 days now. I get it, okay? But right now, at the starting point, tell me exactly, not interpretation, exactly what you heard. And if you heard some words clearly and some words not, that's fine. But right now, let's get exactly what you heard.
Oh.
Look at me for a second.
That's what I'm trying to think.
We're good, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. We're I just want you to know we're good. Okay.
All right. The one I know for sure, like I said, I just happened to peek out at the end of it. They saw me, so they walked away afterwards.
So we're gonna rewind 30 or 90 seconds before that.
Okay. I'm sitting there casing, and I overhear something about the 4th ballots that were picked up on the 4th.
So you heard the words 4th ballots, or
the ballots picked up on the 4th.
Ballots picked up on the 4th. That's
Yes.
what you heard?
Yes.
Okay. And then?
And then I heard them say that one of them was marked with 4th and the rest were the 3rd. That's the only words that I can remember specifically out of that conversation. As soon as I heard that, I popped my head out because it freaked me out. I looked to see who it was, saw the two of them, and then Rob actually looked directly at me, and then they they walked away.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna. You tell me if this will make you uncomfortable. I want to do a field trip real quick.
Okay.
Do you mind if I walk with you to your casing station? Do you mind if we do that?
Sure.
Can we do that right now? Is that going to make you feel uncomfortable at all?
No, I just don't know if, I mean, they might, no, they're probably still, there's nobody left in there, probably, at this point.
Okay. Tell me if that makes you uncomfortable. Okay. I'm more concerned about you than this, but I do want to go see this, okay?
Okay.
Do you mind doing this with me?
And you want me to tell you exactly where they were in proportion? Okay.
That's the whole purpose.
There you go.
Let's put a mask on and go out there.
We're not putting, oh, it's right here.
I just want to say on this too,
Yeah.
if you do hear something like this happening, guys, don't stick your head out and try and find out who's saying it. Not straight away. Because if you do get spotted, they're going to shut up. But, you know, hey. You're better off staying very, very still, very, very quiet, and listening as hard as you can.
But I feel like this is important that people already know, right? So.
Yeah.
He's got to have brown eyes. Don't get the brown eyes reference, but okay.
6'3".
So on a normal day, that's not elections. That's not craziness. What's your timetable? Like when do you get out?
This whole freaking since COVID hit, it's been like 10 to 12 hours every day.
When are you normally done placing?
About 9-10.
Okay.
And this is the case I was at.
Okay.
And because I'm a
And this is your
CCA.
normal casing area?
Sometimes I'm not the regular. I'm just a CCA.
Gotcha.
And they were
Oh, the media is definitely full of shit.
right here. The two of them were right here, face to face, talking. What's that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm trying to gauge how loudly they had been talking. So how loudly would you say they were talking?
Like an average conversation like
Like
you and
this?
me. Yeah.
Like this? So, and this is not me being slippery, okay?
Mhm.
But what we just did there, and I spoke like this, the first time I said anything, you could not hear me, okay?
Barely, yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, when we're going to specific words, I want to know exactly what words you know.
He's definitely been slippery here. Come on.
Okay.
Because
He's already trying to put doubt in this guy's mind as to what he heard.
in this dead air, you would not be able to hear what you heard. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you also have a mask on. Did they have masks on at the time?
When you poked your head around,
Mm-hmm.
what happened at that time?
Rob looked over and saw me.
So his back was to
Yes.
you. And who was here?
Wait, no. Flip.
That's okay.
Daryl, Rob was right there. Daryl was here.
Rob was here.
Mhm.
Daryl was there.
Mm-hmm.
And Daryl turned next to you? Or?
No, Rob did.
Right, so he didn't have to turn.
Yeah, he just had to look.
He was supposed to do it. And at that point, what happened?
They walked away.
This way?
Mhm.
Is his office this way?
Yeah, essentially went back there.
Okay. I don't want to put you on display anymore. We can go back. This is just sort of what I wanted to get from my head. Cool?
All right. Oops, sorry.
You're okay. Do you understand what I'm doing?
Yeah, you're trying to gauge like how loud they would have had to spoke and how far away they would have. It was
I'm
to be
trying
able
to
to hear.
gauge what's going to be filming.
Gotcha.
Okay? Because here's the deal. Here's the absolute deal. And this is why I really like you, because you're a Marine and you know what integrity is, right?
Mhm.
If they're able to put doubt on something that wasn't 1,000% true,
Mhm.
right? they're going to put doubt on everything that you say.
I understand.
And I don't think that that's fair.
Yes.
Okay? And that's what I'm talking about. Let's shave it down. Let's shave it down to what we know 1,000% is true.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely getting UPS, IG to do this.
Thank you for doing
They're
that.
going to be motivated
That's
to push their own narrative.
Even though all the supervisors were sitting there staring at us.
I know, I didn't know they would be there. I'm so sorry. I could have said something loudly like, man, you are a great employee, or something like that.
All right.
But you see you see why I did that, right?
Yes.
Because
To get a feel for where it is, what the situation was.
you have a claim that you're allowed to be passionate about.
Mhm.
Okay? That's what
Yeah,
I'm trying to stress.
pretty much.
You're allowed to be passionate about what you think was happening with ballots. Okay?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay? Your choice, which is also valid, was to go outside the Postal Service
Because I didn't know who to trust.
to report it, right? This claim, which I think is an important one,
Mm-hmm.
starts to go down to an integrity question.
Yes.
You already have made an integrity question because you and I both serve this country, which means I know you love this country. And not only did you just serve this country, then you re-up in the Army Reserve, right?
Mm-hmm. Army Guard.
Army Guard, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
But that shows service. That shows kind of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I'm going to talk about me for a second. The spotlight's not always on you.
All right.
But if you're anything like me, Alex, you know, I serve this country because I love this country.
Exactly.
I serve this country because this country is the best country in the world, right?
Exactly.
I serve this country because this country actually shows us how things should be done. You agree with all that?
Yeah.
And I believe in protecting all that. You agree with that?
Yes.
Right.
And I believe in protecting the vote. I mean,
Absolutely.
and
That's where I'm going. I am the weird person. And I'll say it's weird because none of my family
I don't care who wins.
But I'm the weird person. I don't care about you.
So Eric says, Nick, people shouldn't care. They have tasted too much of the prosperity that Trump has brought to American to let go. Yeah, America's definitely been doing well under Trump. That's for sure. Yeah.
I actually, when I'm called up for jury duty, I go and I do it. And
Mhm.
I don't because, I do that because, to me, the very fabric of what makes this country is so important. And if I have to give up a day to sit in a room
And listen to a
because
bunch
it's
of
my
craziness.
civic duty means something.
I guarantee
Yes,
you
sir.
this guy does not do jury duty because of service. It's a country.
I completely understand.
Leave it alone, bro.
Feeling like if jury duty is the fabric of this country, what makes that fabric is the democracy, and the democracy doesn't exist without the vote. That's how important the vote is, right? I
Mhm.
don't care who wins the races, all right? Personally, I care who wins the races, right? Russ cares who wins the races. But when I go out my front door and I put on my either back then it was my Air Force cap or now it's my special agent jacket, then I am an agent of this great country, right?
Yes, sir.
And so I don't care who wins. I want it to be done correctly. And
Exactly.
if somebody's going to try to wiggle around that, or nudge it, or grease it in any way, I take great exception to that.
And that's how I feel also.
And that's what I'm glad to hear. That's what I'm getting from you. That's the vibe I'm getting from you.
Yeah, it is. It's a
What
republic,
what
not a
I can say
democracy.
is, if you are like
You'd
me
think
on
even if
that,
he's so
I
proud of his
understand.
country, he would know that.
I understand where you're coming from. And I don't want to take that from you. I don't want to extinguish that light at all.
Yes, sir.
Okay? I am with you 1,000% on that.
Like, even I know America is a republic,
And the
not a
absolute
democracy.
zero, before we leave here,
I'm not even American.
is exactly what the basis was for this. Okay?
Mhm.
Because if it's those specific words that were across the room in dead air when they were speaking in normal.
Yeah, I think Trump has a plan, Nick. I said this in the video yesterday.
Sure
He's very
that
confident for some reason, and I'm pretty sure I know what the plan is, but
this entire
we'll see what happens.
allegation is based on, or is it more their actions? Because what I understand, and if you don't know anything about this, you tell me.
Mhm.
But what I understand and what actually makes me question what's going on in this building is he actually was having ballots collected.
Yes,
Is that true?
yes, he was having us collect the ballots up till the 6th.
Okay.
That was one of the things in that safety meeting before we left. Is we were collecting the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th.
Okay. So let me rewind again, and then we're going to
Okay.
come right back to this. I'm leading the conversation, what you overheard.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is this: if they're collecting ballots after the 4th, after the 3rd, so 4th, 5th, and 6th, and they're not suspecting the ballots were backdated, there should be a pile of of ballots in the office, right? If I'm still going around collecting the ballots, and there's not a great big pile of them, where the hell did the ballots go? That's then obviously you can make an assumption that they were backdated.
A second, we'll come back to that. But I want to focus on this safety meeting, because
Okay.
what I'm really interested in.
Yeah, he was off. Yes, he
It
was very
Stephanie
confident.
that was giving us the safety.
Thank you for doing that. But is it Rob who?
I'm
Like,
pretty
just
certain. No,
Tell me.
Stephanie said we were to give the ballots to our supervisor, this closing supervisor, at the end of the day.
Who is your closing supervisor?
At that time, it was Chris.
Chris. Okay. And just for my benefit, who is Steph?
Stephanie, I don't know her actual position. I think she's somewhere like, you know about Stephanie, but I'm not sure what she does.
Okay.
She's like a postmaster assistant or something.
Okay.
You can never really tell with the postmaster and Stephanie on who is one and actually in charge of this place.
So Stephanie ran this safety meeting.
Yeah, she's the one that went to each and every bay, letting them know.
So it wasn't a big group that you all went and sat in a room.
No,
She had an
she
individual meeting with each person. right?
No, she went to each bay.
Each day. Okay.
Each bay and was at the 10s and 11s, the 9s and 8s. Then you have the 7s and
So
the
when she
2s.
spoke to you, how many other people were?
Well, you saw that area that we were in, where those cases were. All those cases,
How many was that?
20 or so.
Like 20? Okay.
And she went to each bay, letting them know, pick up all these ballots.
What did she say specifically? What did she say? And when was this?
This was on the 5th because
This was on the
I
5th.
called off on the 4th. So yeah.
Okay, you didn't work on the 4th.
No, that's why the 4th thing, overhearing the 4th thing.
Right.
I know I heard the 4th, and I know I heard one ballot was marked the 4th. That's the only thing I can be very specific at this point right now because it's been.
Yep.
You're making me question myself at this point.
You know what I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
That's my purpose here.
Okay.
I'm not. Well, I am. I am trying to twist you a little bit because in that, believe it or not, your mind will kick in.
Okay.
We like to control our mind, and when we do that, we can convince ourselves of a memory. But when you're under a little bit of stress, which is what I'm doing to you,
This guy seems to have a predetermined
your
outcome that
mind
he
can be a
wants.
little bit clearer. And we're going to do a different exercise too, to make your mind a little bit clearer. Okay?
Good to go.
So, but this is all on purpose.
Roger.
So, on the 5th,
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie comes by your bed,
Yes.
and what does she say?
She says that we need to collect all.
As word for word as you can do it. Okay?
Oh man.
As you can. This is not.
Make sure to collect all the ballots that you find on the street. Every vote counts. It's very specific on that part.
On the 5th, she said.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
She would run around and saying, make sure to get them ballots, and that was like a big deal. She was running around yelling.
You also said something about having to turn them into.
Oh yeah, turning them into the supervisor, which was already a thing that we were doing prior to the election being over. It was you bring them in, you give them to the supervisor, he puts them in a special thing, they take it to the county.
Okay. Did she say anything about postmark?
No, because that's not our job. That is not our problem. Somebody else does that.
Have you ever postmarked anything?
No, I don't even know how to do it.
Okay. So then she comes and does rah, go get the ballots.
Go get those ballots.
Oh, thanks, Nick.
Mhm.
Thanks for $5, man. I appreciate it.
You're finishing.
Do you
this?
think this will play over for them?
I'm just.
Hang on a sec. We'll pause this.
It could have been 11.
Do you think this will pay over for them? Do you think it'll be worse than Watergate, or will the media completely ignore what people are thinking? The media is going to completely ignore what people are thinking. I think Trump has a plan. I think that plan has been put in place. And I think anybody that underestimates Trump is an idiot, to be honest. I think Trump has a clear plan, and knowing that, he probably also has a plan B, C, and D. I think I know what the plans are, but I don't want to go into too much detail. Look, I'm only a small channel. I'm not presuming everybody's going to see this video, but you never know who's going to watch. But yeah, they're definitely trying to discredit him. Yes, they are, Lee. Yes, they are. Thank you for Nick for the $5 too, by the way, man. I appreciate it. Eric, in my opinion, everything that happened so far in the last 4 years to Trump makes Watergate look like a puddle of water. Very good point. You look at things like, for example, what happened with Russia collusion, quotes, the spying on the Trump campaign and everything like that. This Watergate is a puddle compared to what's already happened. But here's the thing. If Trump wins this and he gets his way, maybe the US can bring in some decent voter laws, and that might be the best thing that comes out of all this. Keep the faith, yeah. My main concern is the fact of how biased the media is. No problem, man. Yeah, and look, to be honest, guys, this is why you have us, right? We're independent media. We have no major backers signing my checks. This is literally a guy sitting in his study playing a computer game while listening to Project Veritas. I have no major backers. Regardless of whether it's good or bad, I'm going to report on it. So this is why you have us. Because the media can't be trusted anymore. So, yeah. That's why we're here. Let's keep going.
Could have been 29.
There was maybe 2 other people there, and they were they were behind me.
So there were probably 3 of you left. Right?
In that bay
In
specifically.
that bay specifically. You are finishing your casing.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to do it again. Tell me what you heard, what made you pause, and then what happened when you stuck your head out. Okay?
Okay. I heard, specifically what I heard was
Oh, yeah.
4th ballots picked up. And then I heard them say something about the markings being on the 3rd. One was the 4th.
I'll tell you now, if Trump wins this, the left is going to lose it. They are going to flip their lid. So, yeah, see what happens.
That's it. And that's when I poked my head out and went, what? I actually said, what? And that's part of the reason why Rob immediately turned his head and saw me, and then they walked away.
Shouldn't have done that.
Ask you a question.
Okay.
The fire in your belly, which I'm already validating.
Mm-hmm.
The fire in your belly. As best you can answer, because you may say you will. I don't know. What stings you hard? Right? This conversation you heard, or what they're doing by sort of segregating ballots the way they do.
I would say the conversation, the fact that I heard that they're, based on my assumption on what I could hear, was that they were postmarking the 3rd and were picked up on the 4th, and that immediately, because they're making this big deal about picking up these ballots. I'm not alone in feeling that's weird. That was a
Can I
red
tell you
flag.
you're not alone?
Very true, Eric.
That was a red flag for me, a huge red flag. And mind you, I voted for Trump, but I'm a libertarian. I voted libertarian across the board except for him.
We don't need to report this, by the way.
Oh, and that's not necessary. I'm just saying that for your understanding, that I'm not specifically, I honestly told one of my liberal friends that works here, and I'm like, dude, I don't care who wins. If Biden wins, I'm gonna laugh. I don't care. I just want it done properly, legally. There is a legal manner in this, and if we're picking up ballots, somebody's got a question. Why is nobody why are we doing this? And everybody, there was a bunch of people.
There's a lot of people that say, why would you do this?
Yeah.
So, I'm going to drill down a little bit, okay? Because you said something very significant. You may not have realized it.
Mm-hmm.
What you said is, and this is what I believe happened with one portion of this. The
Okay.
portion I'm speaking about is what you overheard.
Mm-hmm.
That's specifically what I'm focusing on. What you just said is, when we were talking about fire in the belly, is you said what I assumed I overheard.
Yeah, because I didn't specifically hear the
Exactly.
whole story.
That's right.
I
And
just
so
heard a part of it, and I
heard-
could have missed a lot of it.
You heard words which you and I both know probably go together in a very specific sentence,
Yes.
right? But the reality of it, I'm shaving away everything down to the narrowest truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reality is, please don't let me put words in. The reality is, you heard words and you assumed what they would say.
My mind probably added the rest. I understand that.
No.
I understand how
You
hearsay
have
and
to
listening.
know, it seems so basic, Al, but you have to know how important it is. That's why.
And that's why I was really mad when I heard that people were giving Rob death threats, because
Yeah.
that's fucked.
It
I don't-
also doesn't paint you in a bad light. You understand that, right? What it does is it shaves this down to the narrowest of truths, which is the strongest of truths. And what I'm hearing you say, and I'm waiting for you to challenge me, okay?
Okay.
What I'm hearing you say is, you heard these words. The word you heard was, the fourth postmark. Most were the third, one was the fourth,
Yes.
right?
Those were the specific words that I remember real well.
And then when you
Yeah,
put
he
those
is,
words
right.
together, you
Yeah,
assumed what they
I
were
was
saying
worried that
was
this inspector might be biased. I'm
the
getting
fourth-
suspicion that he's
the mail
trying to
report
damage
should
control.
have been postmarked for the third.
Yes.
That's what you assumed it meant.
That's what I'm figuring my mind probably
Yeah.
gone to. Because
Yeah.
even I've been questioning it at this point. Because it's been so long and it's gotten me so freaked out.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm not trying to say that I don't want any. I don't.
You know why it's okay to be freaked out?
Oh, no,
Because this
they're
has gotten
not.
out of
They're going to go
everybody's-
for everybody.
I understand.
It's gotten so.
And all it is hearsay, and that's the worst part.
Well, it's not even hearsay, is the thing. It's an assumption. And that's the important thing. And if we characterize it as, this is what I thought those words meant, then there's no way that huge stones can be logic. Because that's very different than saying, they said this,
Yes.
right? Because we've gone from painting a probable to being 1,000% in your face accurate, right? You see where I'm going with that? And that's all I'm doing with that conversation. Is because we know it's hard to hear. I'm not saying you didn't. I believe you did. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I believe you can hear there because your ears after it. But there's a lot of dead air there.
Mm-hmm.
Which means if you would have said, I heard this word for word and you would give me a paragraph, I would have doubted you.
Yes.
Because I don't think that's possible.
It's not feasible.
When I said something in this tone to you, you didn't hear what I said.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah, you always have lawyers.
I believe we've gone from what's improbable to accuracy. And I believe the accuracy of the situation is you heard something that concerned you, and if
And
it
added
means-
with all the stuff
if
that
it
was
means
being
what
brought.
you assumed it means, it is problematic.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, added with how they were treating these ballots, I was picking up these ballots with what I had heard and the assumption based on putting two and two together.
I'm gonna tell you why. One of the things I'm trying to protect you against. Okay. There is money involved in this, and you know that because of this.
GoFundMe. I can't even touch it.
That's okay, but your name is associated with it.
Yeah.
Okay. And if I'm not scaring you, but I am scaring you. Okay. If we are not
Wait, what? I'm not scaring you, but I am scaring you? Really?
1,000% accurate with our honesty.
Also, them going on about the money is a campaign to make you try and discredit yourself. You know, they're going on about, there's money involved in this. We got to make sure. They're doing that because at the end of the day, it's an excuse that they can use later to say, well, hey, he got paid. He got paid to say this. It's a way of discrediting you.
And it can be argued that money was gained by, I'm going to say assumptions, they're going to say deceptions. That is, you can be held accountable for.
Understood.
And I am not going to allow that.
Okay.
That is why we are going to the exact words and the exact accuracy. Because I'm not going to let you be put in that situation. Okay? Most people, and this is, let me tell you how you're impressing them. Because most people would see dollar signs, be like, I'll say whatever the hell you want me to say.
Yes.
Okay? And what you just proved to me, that's not you. And I have to tell you, I respect you immensely. So thank you for being upfront with me. All right.
I feel like the truth needed to get out. That's all. I wanted this investigation to happen. That's why I even came out the first time. I wanted to be anonymous. I didn't want to come out, but
You didn't want to be the face of this.
no.
Am I correct with that? But if what you assumed was true, your pride in this country can't let you not act. Is
Yes.
that also fair?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What would you say? I'm making, just so you know, I'm making this up. This is not reality right now. I'm making this up. This is a hypothetical. What would you say if it came out that Rob did not say that? He used those words, but he was actually saying something else.
They seem to be trying to grasp at straws to downplay this.
Horrible.
Would you believe that? Would you believe it's possible?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
It's possible.
Okay.
Anything is possible.
What I'm doing right now is I'm gauging your percentage on how.
Like, I know I'm not perfect.
Exactly. Dude, I'm not perfect. Do you know how many people are perfect in this
It doesn't
building?
exist.
Nobody. Nobody's perfect. Dude, I have messed up, and it happens. What I am literally doing right now.
Yeah,
is I am
definitely.
Something it was an assumption, and keeping it away from this is an integrity issue. I'm not going to let your integrity down, and that's why I'm drilling you so hard. That you with me on that?
I understand.
You trust me on that?
Yes.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you. You need a break? You need a breath?
I can use a smoke.
Okay. I am okay if you want to take a smoke break. I'm going to ask you a favor, though. Do you mind not talking to me while you do that?
I understand.
Are you okay? Can I make that directive?
Yes.
Okay. If you promise me not to talk to me, I'm including texts and phones, okay? If you promise that, please go take a smoke break.
Fine.
Okay? You need anything from me?
No.
Are you okay so far, you and me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, do you want one of these guys to go with me so that they...
I'm happy for that, but if you tell me that you don't need that, let me ask you something. Because there's actually a two-sided coin. Would it keep people off your back if somebody was sort of in the vicinity?
Probably.
Okay.
I don't know if people are with me or against me. I just feel like I'm in a situation where I'm freaked out half the time being here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's go this way.
Okay.
Yeah, door's right here. Door's right here.
Wow, that one. Good to go. You don't have to buzz out?
No. I don't have a lighter up.
I got one.
Yeah.
So glad.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, not disappointed, but
You want the snow?
No, but I'm just not used to this around this time of year.
You're right, though. When we came up, I'm like, I hope the God it's not snowing at 34. And it's supposed to be like 73.
That's normal around here.
That's what I thought, too. I thought for sure it was going to start snowing. So, I'm just glad that it's not, but unfortunately, I think I looked at the weather. It's supposed to be cold this week at some point, Wednesday or Thursday. Which it should have. I get that, but I'm glad it's not. Hailing died from that. You ever tried a vapor?
I just smoke. I've attempted vaping, but I just smoke.
Yeah.
What? So
It's very suspicious the way they're carrying on.
does vape get you the same, or no? Is that why you went back to smoking?
It's just not the same sort of feeling, I guess you could say. Smoking I've just done since I was 16.
I just feel like the flavors in vaping aren't the flavors of smoking. You know, when you smoke, you get that. You know, in vaping, it's like that vanilla, or green apple, or peach.
Yeah, that's definitely weird.
Yeah, that's what I wouldn't. I don't smoke, but if I would, I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd do the whole fruity stuff. You know?
Like Fedorko said he knew you.
Who?
One of the carriers in here. Fedorko, he was like, oh, I know that guy.
Know us?
Yeah. He mentioned you like doing a class or something. Ah.
You good?
Yeah.
Hey, you said we could make sure it works like that.
I'm just waiting on getting quiet real quick, so,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just.
We need to close the door, right?
Yeah, is that closed?
Will you?
Perfect.
Dude,
I know. Old school as
look how
hell.
old school that is.
And that was part of the things that gave me away was I was wearing the vest with the old school symbol. I'm the only one that wears it.
Oh, I'm sorry, do you mind if I talk more in fact?
Sure.
Yeah, I've seen it before. I've never worn it.
I have there's one guy in our office that wears it.
Even that looks different than that. You know?
Yeah.
No wonder it just wasn't the stories you can tell. Nope. No, I think it's up on it. It's just
Crazy.
Can he not tell they are suckering up to him? Oh yeah. Yeah, he can't. He sounds like he's not real experienced when it comes to federal types and stuff. So, It's not his fault.
We're 307.
but this is why you have lawyers.
We're good, man.
We're good?
What? I'm good. I don't know if you're good.
Oh, need to come in back in here.
Come on.
Continue this.
When we first started, you were laughing at my jokes. Now you don't even understand them.
Sorry.
I'm going downhill. You good?
Yeah.
Do you need any instruction?
No, I'm good.
I'm good too. And what I mean by that is, you're proving to be good.
And I think I said this before, but I appreciate that.
Why does everybody carry millions of cell phones?
Dude, it's ridiculous. I hate being that plugged in. All right, I'm going to start with some outside questions. I'm going to bring us back in again.
Okay.
Again, it's on purpose. If you want to ask me why I'm doing something, you're allowed to. My goal with you is to be transparent, but there is reason I'm doing all this. I'm going to talk Project Veritas for a second.
Okay.
Okay? What sort of... Project Veritas is not on trial here.
Yeah.
Okay? You have to understand that. But my concern is not them, my concern is you.
Yes.
That is why I'm here. Okay? And so what sort of advice have they been giving? What sort of...
If any media company tries to get a hold of me, to let them know, and they will vet them to see if they were going to write a bad story about me or whatnot. So it kind of goes through the whole rigmarole of they've got teams working on stuff like that. They tell me not to talk to anybody, really.
True,
about
very true.
it. You know,
there are going to be a lot of people...
Hey Louis, how are you?
I know. And unless they know about it, they're basically, like I said, they're trying to help me in case of legal ramifications and stuff. They've got my back, I guess you could say.
I'm going to say something, and this does not reflect my feelings on them one way or the other. Okay? It behooves them to have your back
Yes.
because you're giving them an exclusive.
Yes.
Okay? So when they say they're vetting and do everything through them, if that makes you feel comfortable,
Yes.
do that. Okay, this is the Russ Strasser advice. Do that, but don't ever feel like you have to do that because they get a major benefit by keeping you close. Does that make sense to you? But on the flip side of that, they may give you a sense of security that you wouldn't have otherwise, and that has value to it as well. Okay, But I just want you to know that some of their goodwill towards you is self-motivated.
Yes.
As long as you understand that, okay? So they told you not to talk to anybody. They told you to be very careful about people contacting you, but other news agencies and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Any sort of legal paperwork or anything they have you working towards, or
The affidavit.
okay.
That's the only thing. The affidavit saying that.
When did you do the affidavit?
2 or 3 days ago.
And then you went and had it notarized,
Yes.
and you sent it to them.
They've got a guy here.
They haven't got it. Do you have regular meetings with him? Any of
Yes.
this you're uncomfortable with?
Yes,
You can tell me you're uncomfortable
I
with.
do actually.
Okay. How often do you see?
About once a day we talk, and you know, if I needed to, you know, kind of like my guidance on what to do. As crazy as, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, I've even asked, I was like, what the hell do I do with this money if I don't lose my job? I was like, dude, I mean, I don't know how to give it. So it's been a thing.
He seems like a really nice guy. His
I'm
concern
the
is if he
lead
doesn't
party.
lose his job, what does he do with the money?
Real complication for you comes in with this money, because we have to make sure that this money cannot be painted as ill-gotten. Okay, and so
The only reason I even set up that GoFundMe is because James O'Keefe said, okay, if you want to come out, because at that point I was like, I guess I have to come out because I've noticed weird things with my work. At that point, on Friday, yes, for Friday, when I came in, I watched all the freaking supervisors and the freaking stewards for the union go into the back, and then all of a sudden, one of the stewards comes out and goes, "Hey, I need you to give me that statement for something that happened, a PDI that happened with you."
Union's not on your side?
No.
Okay.
That's what's got me really bothered. That's why I ended up coming out. I didn't want to come out. I wanted to
What was that?
I watched all the freaking supervisors and the freaking stewards for the union go into the back, and then all of a sudden, one of the stewards comes out and goes, "Hey, I need you to give me that statement for something that happened, a PDI that happened with you."
Union's not on your side?
No.
He just asked, is the union's not on your side? And Richard has responded, no. Is anybody actually really shocked about that, considering the unions were backing Biden? That, to me, rings alarm bells. The union is not on your side. They are terrified of what you might or might not have heard. Let's keep going.
That's what's got me really bothered. That's why I ended up coming out. I didn't want to come out. I just wanted the words to get out there so you guys would show up and that'd be it.
You don't feel like you have any say?
No.
I just missed that real quick about the GoFundMe. You said that they told you to...
Yeah, once I came out, they were like, as soon as they wanted me to set up a GoFundMe, as soon as I came out, they dropped the video that way.
No shocks about the union?
When
Yeah, I
shit
know,
goes
but it's good to
down.
have it on audio.
Because, like I said, they were bringing up old PDIs and whatnot in the
But
office.
to be very clear, this is not a Project Veritas GoFundMe.
This is for me.
You set it up, and this is people giving you money.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not money they're collecting that they will earmark for you.
No.
This is you're doing that, right?
Yes,
Okay.
they showed me how to set it up, and I
Yeah.
was the one clicking
Okay.
the buttons.
Were
They
they
told
gonna-
me to do it, though.
Were they going to get any portion of the GoFundMe?
No, not at that. It
Why
was
do
for
they
in
care
the
about
case
this?
That I lost my job or something with haywire, and I
Okay.
did that a lot.
This has nothing to
a
do
lot
with
is
the
under
investigation, per se.
One more little step on your shoulder, because I want you to be aware. I want you to have information and not have everybody telling you. Okay, this is not me condemning Project Veritas. I want you to be really clear on that. Okay, if you are comfortable with them, that is good for you. But they have also set this up so that if there is anything that goes on with this money,
Yeah, they did.
where they claim that it was ill-gotten, well, you're on the hook for it. You understand, you're on the hook for this. Their hands are totally off of this. They told you what to do, but they made you do it. So I want you to be, this is me to you. I want you to be exceedingly clear that everything is okay before you do anything with that.
I don't even plan on
Okay.
I can't even touch it. GoFundMe's got it on review, and never, from the moment it started, they put it on review and said you will not be able to withdraw. So I'm not
that's
even
because
touching it.
that's because their GoFundMe's protecting themselves.
Yeah.
I just don't want.
I don't
everybody
think
protecting
GoFundMe is
themselves
trying to
and how
protect
they want
themselves,
it
dude.
back
Seriously.
When somebody wants to say this money was the reason this happened. You understand what I'm saying?
And I've heard people say that on
Yeah.
there, and I'm like, I had no
I-
idea this would even
I have
happen.
to tell you, I believe you. I'm in your corner on this. I want you to take care of you. You believe me on that?
I
Because
understand.
that's why I'm
Here we go.
okay. I want to go back to the ballots.
Okay.
Okay. When you let's do the 5th. The 5th was the day. Right? After
You're getting a lot of loading, are you, Ellen?
You were done casing. Did you go out?
Yeah, I pulled down and I went out. I think I talked to Sonya first, and I was like, holy shit,
Who was on? Who's on?
Sonya was one of the other carriers.
Okay.
She's one of the ones I felt like I could trust even bringing it up to.
Okay.
And I told her what I heard, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. It's freaking me out. So she sent me a different person to contact, but I was already thinking Project Veritas because I'd heard about them. I knew this was the kind of thing they looked into.
Did you work a route?
Maybe.
Huh?
Did you go out to a route that day?
Yes.
Okay, you did go out.
Yes.
Okay.
I was
Did
out-
you talk to her when you were on the route or before you?
According to
Before we-
mine, it's
we were both out on
excellent.
the-
So
Got it.
YouTube might be trying to throttle it. Refresh.
route?
Try refreshing, Ellen.
Then I'm assuming you had ballot mail.
Control F5.
Is that correct or not? You had one. What did you do with that ballot?
Turned it in.
The
Like
way
I was
you were told to.
Yes.
So you gave it to Chris. Okay.
Do as I'm told, but notice that there's some funky, basically.
Okay. Did you do anything extra?
I wrote on but the date.
What did you write on?
The date.
Tell me specifically what you wrote on.
11:05:20.
11:05:20. Where did you write it?
Hidden on the back, where they wouldn't even notice it.
Okay. Okay. But that was on one ballot. Okay. And then you went to Chris.
That was smart.
And handed him the ballot.
I just put it on his desk.
You didn't see him.
Yeah, he was on the ballot, but I knew where the ballots were. They have a special little box for the ballots in that one.
Any guess how many were in there?
Like 4 or 5 at that point. That was it for that day.
For that day, right?
Yeah.
Do you know, and it's okay if you don't, do you know, let's just go with your ballot that you wrote on, because now I can specifically cite a ballot. This is the one that has been marked. Do you know what happened to that ballot after that? After it went in that bin, do you know what happens in this building with the ballot?
No.
At all? No?
No.
Do you know if Rob has a role with that, with what happens to the ballots?
He's gone.
I can't get any videos to play on YouTube. Let me double check, guys. Let me check the stream. Be right back. Okay, so it is playing on my other stream. So I have the stream going up in the lounge room. Do you guys want me to keep trying to play this, or do you want to switch over to Twitch or something? I do have a Twitch account for this channel. Yeah, alright. Let's do it, guys. Alright. So we'll pick it up right over here. I'll put a link to the Twitch channel. Let me log out. Log in. Log in. Alright. I did not get that email. Here we go. Got it now. Alright, just give me a sec to set this up. No worries. Talk to you later, Lee. Have a good night. That's the link to the YouTube channel, guys. So we will go through and we will continue it on there. So feel free to join me. And apart from that, I might record this and upload it later, Lee, so you get to watch it if you want. But yeah, let's end the stream now and we'll be on Twitch, guys.